Hello, everybody, and welcome. It's Ian from Starship Adventures, and today a little ham radio stuff for you. Today we're going to talk about POTA and a little bit about SOTA. Many people are ham radio operators. They don't know what these things are. They might have heard them on the radio, but they don't know how they work. And this can be a really good thing if you look into it just a little bit. Today we're specifically going to talk about POTA, Parks on the Air. But first, I do want to mention SOTA is another one out there, which is Summits on the Air. And I've tried to be a part of SOTA, but they're really a club for the physically fit. And they really don't care to locate their summits where people can get to them in a short walk or in a vehicle. They prefer mountain climbers, basically. So SOTA is something I don't get involved with. I don't even answer them on the radio because I've tried to work with them for a while and get some summits that I can get to approved, and they won't approve them. So it's kind of a club for the physically fit, unfortunately. And that's SOTA, Summits on the Air. Now, let's talk about POTA, Parks on the Air, which I find to be an amazing resource out there for amateur radio operators that are looking to make HF contacts. Let's face it, there's not that many people on HF anymore. Most of them are using digital signals, they're using digital voice, or they've given up altogether on HF, and they're just using their VHF and UHF radios. Whatever the case may be, POTA is a great way to get back involved again on HF because it gives you the ability to find people pretty easily. You know, one of the things that I've always found very odd about amateur radio is that there's no calling channels on HF. Once you get below 10, there really is no calling channels. And so when you go on there, you hear conversations, but, you know, I don't ever hear anyone calling CQ unless it's a contest or something. And so it's hard to find people on HF because of lack of coordination, lack of calling channels, and all these different reasons. It's hard to find people on HF. And you've got a lot of rude operators out there that only like to talk to people in their circle, and they'll be absolutely rude to you if you try to call them. But POTA is great because, like contesting, these people want to make contact with new people that they haven't made contact with before. And so POTA gives you a great opportunity to find people easily on HF. And it's a little bit of a challenge because these people are set up at remote locations. How Parks on the Air works, okay, is folks sign up. You can sign up to be Parks on the Air Hunter or Activator. It's the same thing. You sign up for the program, and once you sign up, if you're a hunter, which is what I do, I don't ever activate parks, I just hunt parks. What I do is I just go to the list up here that they have of all of the spots that are currently out, and then I go to those frequencies and I try to make contact with those people. And what a great way to help ham radio people find other ham radio people that want to talk to each other. The spectrum is so god-awful wide that you could dial around for days on different bands, calling. I must have called CQ till I was blue in the face and no one ever answered me. But with POTA, again, it tells you where they're going to be, and so you just go there and you listen. Now, a lot of times they're a faint station because they're remote operating. That understood, it's a great way to test your equipment and to make those difficult QSOs in a way, but still know someone's on the other side, and you're not just speaking in the blind, basically. I love POTA. POTA is a great website because once you sign up, let's say you're out in the car, or let's say you're in the shack and you're busy, and you see a POTA spot pop up, or you hear somebody. You go there and you make the contact. You didn't even write it down, right? Doesn't matter. The hunters are not required to submit their log. Only the activators. Now, this may be a little bit of cheating on my part, but a lot of times if I'm busy, I don't even log my POTA contacts because guess what? The next day they're in my logbook. They're right over here. And all I have to do is go there and just move them over to QRZ. It just takes a few minutes, and then I push them up to a logbook of the world. That convoluted mess. And once I get all that done, then it's logged in all 3 locations, and I get my confirmations, and everything's great. What's great about it, they got awards, they got all kinds of stuff like that. And once you hunt for a while, you might decide to go activate a park. And of course you can do that. That's what's great about POTA, is you can be a hunter the rest of your life, or you can go and start activating parks. All you need is a mobile rig, a mobile setup. And unlike SOTA, POTA can be done from your car. All you have to be is in the parking lot of the whatever it is, the park, the state park, the federal park. All you have to do is be in your car with the antenna up, and you can participate. So it doesn't require any kind of physical fitness. It doesn't require any kind of special access equipment or all-terrain vehicles or any of that kind of stuff. All you need to do, POTA, is basically you can hunt from anywhere on any radio at any time. And if you don't get it logged, that's okay. Go in tomorrow, pull it up off your log there, and it has all the information you need to log it into your logbook. So POTA is a great way to make voice contacts. It's so difficult lately to make voice contacts on HF. Ham radio is not as social as people would like to think it is, and a lot of times what people need is a reason to get on the air, and that's what contesting is a reason to get on the air. That's what POTA is, and other things like POTA is an excuse, basically, a reason to go get on the air, because what we want to do is get on the air, right? We're ham radio operators. We want to be on the air, and there's just nothing to do but dial around and call into the blind, or wait for a contest, or POTA. POTA is something I do a lot. Like I go up to my cabin in Georgia, and I will leave that POTA screen up on my computer most of the day and night. And anytime I'm there, I look down the list, I dial it up real quick, and if I can make the contact, I make it. And then at the end of the day, the next day, I pull up my hunter log on POTA, and I log them into my logbook. It doesn't have to be done right at the moment. And now it's in my logbook, and it's also in QRZ, and it's also in Logbook of the World, so that those other operators can get their confirmations in their logbook. It's so cool. POTA is a great thing, and I'm here to say that there's a lot of things that don't work well in ham radio, whether you're talking about software or the curmudgeons running everything. Not everything runs that well in ham radio, but POTA seems to run very well. The website works well. The people that activate are into it. They're having a good time. They're out enjoying our parks, and I just really love Parks on the Air. So I endorse Parks on the Air as a great way to make single sideband contacts. They also will do contacts on FT8, FT4. I've even seen JS8 call a couple times on there. But I can get FT8 contacts all day long. As a fact, I've got 20-something thousand of them. But if you want single sideband contacts, which is what I'm trying to get right now at this point in my ham career, POTA is the way to go. And so check it out. It doesn't cost anything to sign up, doesn't cost anything to use, doesn't cost anything to activate parks. It's a free service, and it's great. They've got a mobile app that you can use while you're out at the park if you want. They've got many different ways that you can do it, and they cover all bands, all modes. It's whatever you want to make contact with. If you want to go out there and set up SSTV and do ham TV, you could do that. You could make contacts like that with a park. You can do it however you want. And that's what's another thing that's really cool about POTA is they really just emphasize getting out there, getting into our parks, and setting up mobile equipment and being ready to operate mobily. So I think Parks on the Air is a great thing. I think you should check it out. Go to Parks on the Air. The website's right here, or no, right there, and check it out, because I think you'll find it to be a fun time if you haven't done it yet. And there's no expectations. There's no maximums, there's no minimums. You can stop for a year and come back and pick right back up where you left off. And that's what's really great about Parks on the Air. So I'm not as happy with Summits on the Air. I'm really not. That could be another great organization, but they don't have the website infrastructure straightened out like POTA does, and they also they're very big on not allowing you to do things. And I prefer in ham radio. I find that the rules are many, and the participation is few. I prefer to find things that has a lot of participation and very few rules, and POTA seems to be that for me. And it's a great way to get out there and make contacts. So I hope you enjoy it. Try it out. If you have any problems, leave me a comment or send me an email, ko4efs@gmail.com, and I'll be glad to help you out with anything I can. We're going to be continuing this series on trying to find ways to enjoy ham radio. Unfortunately, it's kind of a fading hobby, and it's full of people that don't like change, and that is an epitaph, unfortunately. If you get enough people in a club, group, organization, or hobby like this that resist change with all cost, guess what? Doomed to failure. So keep an open mind out there. Never resist change in any form. And love POTA for what it is. It's a great way to make some good single sideband contacts. All right, everybody, have a good one out there. My name's Ian, Starship Adventures. We'll see you on the radio.